Thank you so much for joining me today. Today we have a beautiful couple-part series on planets in retrograde, and today we are talking about Neptune retrograde and how this will affect you and your twin during this time. Watch this video. Like, comment, subscribe to my channel, click that little notification bell so that you get notified when all of my new videos are coming out. We have lots and lots of new content for you, and I just want to say a quick thank you to everyone that's been so supportive, and also the requests and comments that we've had. It's made our lives incredibly beautiful and so much easier when you let us know, okay, this is what we're looking to see, this is what we're struggling with, can we have a conversation about this? That's what we love to hear. So thank you so much for everybody that's been engaging with us lately. We've had so much fun responding to comments and talking just in my own relationship dynamic about these things. So thank you guys so much for that. Before we get started today, this Neptune retrograde series, this is part of a series that I am doing about all the planets that are in retrograde right now and how they are going to affect you and your twin flame dynamic, right? So retrogrades can affect all different aspects of our lives, especially depending on what sign you are. You know, for Neptune, if you have a lot of Neptune in your chart, it's going to affect you more and things like that. So Neptune is stationed retrograde from June 30th to December 3rd. And so if we know anything about Neptune, right? Neptune is like the sea, right? It's about dream world. It's about the water. It's about, you know, this astral realm. When you feel into the energy of Neptune, it's very like almost floaty. It's very floaty. It's very like fog, you know, it kind of moves, and it feels to me very much like the veil, right? So Neptune like governs a lot about the other worlds and spirituality and the veil. So in this time with our twins, you might notice a lot of things coming up in your dreams about your twin. Pay special attention to what's happening in your dreams when you dream about your twin, especially how you feel about the dream when you wake up. You might also, because when Neptune is in retrograde, the veil seems thinner. So you might also be getting more psychic messages from them. On the other hand, you might feel more disconnected from them. So this can go either way, and you'll know when I'm talking which one you fall into, right? So you might feel more dreamy and more floaty about your relationship with your twin, whether you're in union or separation, it doesn't really matter. Or you might just feel more disconnected, right? You might feel like there's more of a buffer. Like if you're someone especially who's very grounded and very in tune with this physical reality, then this might feel to you actually like, whoa, where is my twin? I can't really feel them, or I feel more of a pad and more of a buffer. Like I can't really, you know, access their energy as much because we're kind of in this misty time with this Neptune retrograde. So part of the reason I'm making these retrograde videos and this series about retrogrades is because a lot of times retrogrades can be considered negative or can be like, oh, we have to fall into the doom and gloom and chaos of what the retrogrades are going to bring us and we don't have any control. And what I'm here to say is that is not true. Okay, there was a big lesson I learned when I was in separation with my twin regarding astrology. And essentially, you know, there's been times in my life where I've loved astrology, and then there's been times where I just really didn't resonate with it at all. So these retrograde intuitive updates are less about really sticking to the astrology rules and are really more about, you know, accessing archetypes and medicine and alchemy for these times so that we can understand what might actually be going on under the surface that we're not aware of, and that we can bring light to those things. So when we talk about Neptune retrograde, we're also going to be focusing on, you might be seeing increased signs and synchronicity. Again, think about Neptune as this veil, this spiritual plane, right? Governing our spiritual lives. So it would make a lot of sense that if we are now more aware of this spiritual nature, this floaty, fizzy, kind of, fluffy energy, that we would be seeing more signs of the spiritual realms represented in our physical reality. So you might see increased signs about your twins. You might have increased synchronicity. And again, this is where you're going to pay a lot of attention to your dreams. Dreaming about water is incredibly common during this time. So that has a lot to do with the feminine archetypes and the emotional archetypes. So keep in mind, when you're dreaming, you can set intentions before you dream to work with this energy. You can also set intentions after you wake up to use that energy that you picked up in the dream in your 3D waking life, right? So you can use a lot of this energy and you can use it to alchemize things that might be coming up for you. So now, especially for Neptune, what we need to keep in mind is it is important to stay grounded during this time, right? So this Neptunian energy, because it's so floaty, it's so spiritual, it can feel very disorienting, right? And so if you're in the category of feeling a little more disconnected from your twin, feeling a little bit more like that's a dream, what you can do to help alchemize this is to write down in the physical world what your dreams for you and your twin are, right? And use this energy as more of a manifesting time. Now, a lot of people say don't manifest during retrogrades. However, I think with the right intention, you can actually use this energy for your advantage, right? So you always want to work with the energy rather than against it. So use this dreamy time to dream, right? To dream and to say, what do I want my life to look like? What do I want my relationships to look like? What do I want all of these things with my twin to look like? And you can use this dreamy energy to then plant those seeds of your manifestations. Now, the other thing that's coming up quite strongly is that there's going to be a lot of past life of Lemuria and Atlantis coming up at this time. So if I say those two words, Lemuria and Atlantis, and you might already know a lot about these places, you might have already been told that you had past lives in these places, but when I say this, if it rings true to you, then you are probably somebody who has had past lives there, and they might have even been past lives with your twin. So keep in mind that these are both very Neptunian kind of astral, watery places, right? And so with this, especially if you are somebody like a starseed that struggles with the idea of feeling alone or feeling home, right? Both of these places, Atlantis and Lemuria, are said to have kind of imploded on themselves, right? And so there's a lot of wounds that come up and a lot of collective trauma from the souls that had been awakened or, had been present in those lifetimes. So if you're struggling a lot with feeling alone right now during this time, or you have things that are bringing up feeling isolated or feeling, again, like you're not at home here, like you feel displaced, this is a very common starseed ailment or wound, you know, is that feeling of separation, like I don't know where my soul family is, I don't feel connected to people here. And again, this time of the Neptune retrograde is going to maybe put a little buffer in between you and your spiritual self, where you might feel like you have to work a little bit harder to get to that home frequency that feels like home, that feels comfortable to you, that feels uplifting and blissful. You might have to put a little more focus during this time on your spiritual practice in order to cultivate that security. And so notice that if your twin says something to you and you instantly feel alone and you feel disconnected from them, that feeling of being alone can be a collective traumatic wound. Remember, you are here not only to clear your own karma and your own beliefs, your own wounds, but everything you clear for yourself is also connected to past lifetimes, to every other person, being, soul here on this planet. So you are most likely the one who is also shedding collective traumas and collective wounds. So notice when those things come up, feeling alone, feeling a lack of home, feeling a lack of security, just kind of feeling almost nomadic in a way, like you just don't really know where your place is, and you do feel like you're just kind of floating in space. You know, work with that energy and remember to ground into your spiritual practice to help buffer that. So we are also going to pull a card here today. And this card that we're going to pull, we are setting the intention that we want to understand what Neptune has to say to us and how we can work with this Neptune retrograde energy in order to alchemize things within our twin flame relationship. So let's tune in and see what Neptune has to say. Okay, so we got the card here, flowing. So lots of blue, lots of feathers, and then she's got these beautiful stars coming out from almost like her throat chakra. Okay, so flowing is going to, so much blue as well. So the throat chakra and Neptune, you think about the water, blue. So using the color blue as a way to have alchemy. So go in the water, go where the blue is, right? If you can get yourself in a bath with Epsom salts, if you can just meditate under the shower running, if you can get yourself into a natural body of water, even better, like the lake, the streams, or the oceans. This is Neptune energy and it's always flowing, right? So bringing that energy into the 3D, it's like water. It's flowing. It's always moving. So not getting too rigid with ourselves on things have to be this way. So Neptune is saying you might feel a little bit chaotic. You might feel like you had a plan and that plan went directly out the window. And now you're being called to readjust, realign over and over and over again. And it's like the plans are always changing. But when you're flowing, when you're tuned in, tapped in, we understand that when plans fall away, it's actually for our highest good, right? It's not that things are not working out. It's that things are actually leveling up and we are going through different timelines to get to that highest level. So that's what this is all about. And we also have, right, these stars and this beautiful sparks of light coming from the throat chakra. So things like speaking your truth, right? No matter how crazy it might sound, if you're like me and you're a spiritual person, you get used to sounding crazy after a little while. So speaking your truth is incredibly important right now. If you're looking to clear energy from the physical body, right? Those feelings of being alone, being homeless, being a nomad, singing, finding a song that you like on the radio and just tuning into that song and singing it with everything you have, right? Or just sitting and toning, doing your Om. The Om is going to clear out the body. So anything, any kind of stuck energy, anything that's not moving the way it should, when we sing, when we use our voice, we emit a very specific frequency. Nobody else in the world has your voice. So your voice is medicine. Your voice is medicine for other people. Your voice is medicine for you. So use your voice to flow, to get back in tune, even if it's just humming to yourself. It doesn't have to be anything spectacular. It can just be you coming in and being vocal and clearing out all of that energy, right? And then you will feel lighter, then you will feel more in tune with what's going on. So get yourself in that water, start singing, go in your bath, take your bubble bath and do a little ditty, your favorite song. But thank you so much for watching. Share this video with somebody you love or somebody that needs it. And we will catch you next time. Thank you so much for being here with me today. Big love, Serena.